I can hear you and see you.
Hooray! Also, we're
But I also hear my voice.
hopefully streaming to the live stream area now, but obviously YouTube isn't live yet. I don't know how it works. Life is confusing, yo. Nice. At least we can hear each other now. That's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it says it's waiting for me now. I need to figure out what to do. Things are happening. I am confusion.
Does the line...
Oh. Someone started saying something and then it died. Oh, Molly died. Molly came back.
I'm trying to get some ambiance.
We're in. We're on. We're good. I can
Yay!
see us on the screen. I have no idea how long it's been live for, but we are good to go.
Great.
So we might as well at least start chatting generally. Can Molly and Vanessa also hear and talk and things? We doing okay? No, one of us died.
There's some ambiance back here.
Oh.
Since you can see my TV, I'm like, if I can get a forest.
Oh, that would be good. Love it. 10 out of 10.
That's the word I'm looking for. Oh my god, where did they both go?
I know, right? They disappeared.
Also, I'm hearing myself every time I talk. Are you hearing it like that?
No, but I do have everything muted except for like the one area where we're doing the thing. I think. There's Vanessa. Hi, friend. I can't hear you. Are you muted? Oh, there you are.
Oh, now I hear you. Oh, I got an ad.
That was sad. Oh, cool. Good. Yay, ads. That'll do it.
There. So atmospheric now.
All right. Well, we'll give Molly some time to sort herself out, but we might as well at least talk generally about the book while we wait. So
yes,
we can like start off, I guess, by talking about whether or not we liked it and how we liked it and what we liked about it and all of those things. Or hated, if we hated it. So,
who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So for me, A Midsummer Night's Dream was something that I saw performed before I read it. I saw it live as like a Shakespeare in the Park performance in my hometown a few years ago before reading it. So I think that helped my enjoyment of it. Like, because of that, every time, like, as I was reading through it, I already had an idea of like what it sounded like and what it played out like, which meant that it was very much like an instant enjoyment for me. I was just like, yes, here we are, this play that I've seen in the forest.
Oh.
I'm trying to promote us on Instagram. Ignore that.
Yeah, I was the same way though. I did it in middle school. So it wasn't a good performance because it was like 13-year-olds doing it. But I was obsessed with it after I saw it. And I still am.
Yeah, your favorite play, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's 5 stars for me. Let's just get that right out there. So there's no confusion. I love it.
Return of the Molly.
She can.
Slowly. Assumedly. Yeah, she should be. Yes. Victory. Victory is ours. We're just thinking about whether or not we liked the play instantly or whether like it took us a while to get into it and what our experience was reading it. If either of you two wanted to join with that. Oh dear. I heard some of that. Did you say it was a new experience for you?
Yeah, I did.
You're a lot more of like a poetry reader than a sort of play reader, or is that my imagination?
I read a lot of Shakespeare.
That was a noise.
I can hear you now.
Victory! Oh, Molly, you poor thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now we're all here. We did it. We made it. We are successful. So, Molly, now that you can hear us, would you like to tell us about your experience reading the play? Did you like it from the start? Did it take you a while to get into it? Did you watch something else first?
I actually liked it from the start, which I was not expecting. I'm sure that I missed things, but overall, I actually enjoyed it, and I had spots where I was legitimately laughing.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Yeah. So true. So yeah, how many of us ended up watching or like listening to or like using multiple adaptations to actually read this play? Because I know I did.
When I read it, I read straight through it. But like I said, I haven't read it before. And I ended up watching the National Theater production while it was online, which was amazing. It changed my life.
I'm so sad that I missed it. I did not manage to get a hold of it before it disappeared.
So good.
I need to find a way to, I don't know, they better find a way to show it again, because watching Gwendolyn Christie in Shakespeare would be just the dream.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of other theaters, like Shepherd and the Globe, they have it where you can rent it or buy it or offline. So hopefully they'll do that. Everyone should see it.
It's true. What about you guys?
My plan was to watch it today, but then I had a really fussy child, so
That's fair. That's fair.
Sad on that. Maybe sometime weekend.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm still going to try and find another adaptation to watch, even after the book club ends. Excuse me, there's something in my throat.
As well. It's a very
gripping
play.
It's a very what?
Gripping play.
Yeah.
Minutes.
I definitely found myself like reading a lot more of it at once than I thought I would. I thought I was going to be like, yeah, sure, just an act at a time, because the language is going to be heavy and it's going to be hard to get through. And then I'd read it and be like, well, shit, now I'm 2 acts ahead, so I guess I'll stop for a bit.
That's exactly right.
It was a lot shorter.
Yeah, I think you kind of forget that because, like, it is designed to be a play, so it can't go on forever.
Okay.
It actually does have to be quite a short thing for people to be able to read out loud in, like, 2 hours or less. So, yeah, I found that too. I also read this, and for Julia's readathon, All the World's a Page, I also read As You Like It, and I read them like one week and then the other the next week, and that just the two of them together was just like one long jaunt in a forest, just an absolute riot in the woods.
Yeah, I bet.
Anyone
Sounds
else?
like a fun reading.
Sounds like a fun read. What?
Yeah, a fun reading weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I spent a lot of time trying to reenact parts for my housemates as well. I was like, you guys don't understand. I need you to appreciate the absolute riot that is Shakespeare right now.
Absolutely.
Does anyone else have any like generally questions? Oh, Julia. Julia has an embarrassing story.
I do.
Now is your time to shine.
Okay, well, I already kind of gave the context because I told you that I muted myself so I wasn't hearing an echo. So I gave you the context when I first saw it when I was in middle school and the 8th graders performed it. Every year we had the grade play, and it was always Shakespeare because our teacher had tape, you know? So they did Midsummer Night's Dream, and I thought it was the best thing. So I went to the library and I picked up this same edition, not literally the one, but it looked just like this. And I was reading it for fun. So very on brand for me. And so I remember, I don't know if I was like coming back from school or somewhere. I was like in my mom's car, and pulled up in the driveway, and I'm like into the scene, and I'm reading the part where like Alexander and Beatrice are trying to fight each other about pumpkins, imitating their voices, and they're getting all confused. And so I go barreling down the driveway toward the mailbox, going, "Ho, like come down off," because I'm like reading it, and then from behind the tree next to my mailbox comes my neighbor who goes to school with me. I'm like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And I'll never forget that moment.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't think there's anything better than accidentally saying Shakespeare quotes in public places.
It just felt like very aggressive towards them. I'm not calling you a coward. Please don't fight me.
Love it. Oh, that's so beautiful. What was everyone's favorite like part or passage or quote or monologue? While we're also talking about yelling Shakespeare out loud in random things.
Let me find some of mine.
Do us a reading. Show us your acting chops.
No pressure too high.
Shakespeare's not pressure. I think my favorite of like little section of this whole thing was when Hermia decides for some really dumb fucking reason that Helena managed to woo Lysander away from her by being tall.
Yeah.
She's like, I know what you're up to. You went and you took your height and you used it to woo him against me. I'm just like, you dumb bitch.
I mean, the logic in this play is impressive.
Yeah, the leaps. Those logical leaps that people take. They're really good.
I mean, on this note, Helena is like, clearly you put him up to this. He's like my best friend.
Yeah,
she goes on like, trying to hurt me by setting up these guys with the truth. Like it just makes no sense.
Yeah, she's like goes on a 2-page rant about how long and loyal their friendship is like has been, and then she's like, "But also, you bitch." That whole fight scene is real good.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think one of my favorite bits is like when Helena is first following Demetrius into the woods. Because, I mean, it's so sad, like, he keeps rejecting her, but, like, the things she says are so crazy. Like, when, they're like, oh, you gotta look out for your virginity, blah, 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 don't follow me alone in the woods. And she's saying, like, it is not night when I do your face, therefore I am not midnight. Nor does this wood lack world's company. For you, in my respect, are all the world. Then how can it be said that I am alone and all was here to look on me? Like, that's so pretty.
So
Yeah,
cute.
it's pretty.
So romantic, and Demetrius is so not worth it, but that's...
It's not. I'm glad you're the only one who sees magic at the end. Like, you don't get to choose me.
Yeah, you don't get to see the world in the real way anymore. You just stay like that, please. What about Molly, Vanessa?
When I thought it was a joke. Like it's not a joke. So you're just so bad for.
Yeah, Helena was definitely one of the more sympathetic characters for me, and probably for a lot of people. She's just such a poor, sweet soul. She just wants to live her life and be happy.
Mm-hmm. She's my favorite character.
Yeah.
So bad for her.
Molly.
I quite enjoyed, at least I listened to it. I don't remember where it was. It was when the troupe was rehearsing and they were doing all of the voices.
Ah.
It was amazing to listen to.
I bet.
Yeah, the play within the play is actually heckin' funny. That was probably
Yeah.
one of my favorite
So
moments when I was watching it live, like watching it as a performance, was that play and the performance of it.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing because whenever I read it, I'm going to be like, okay, these guys are putting on a play. But when we watch it, it's the best part of the play. They're so funny.
Yeah, it's so funny. You're like, I can't do this. I'm going to scare them.
Yeah.
And then I was listening to like one of the male actors speaking in such a high-pitched voice.
His little Thisbe voice.
The Thisbe voice, yes. Or Bottom deciding that he should be Thisbe because he would be the most beautiful Thisbe. That was also good.
Yeah. And then he's like, I'll be the lion too.
Yeah.
I'll roar in such a gentle way that the ladies won't be afraid. Oh, Bottom, you're a good egg. If you could pick a role to play, who would you want to be? If you were going to cast,
I already said who my favorite character is.
Helena all the way.
I love Helena. I've always wanted to play Helena, and I always will until I'm old. Oh, we've got a closing window here. Somebody's got to cast me.
Looks like it's time for the Keep It Classic adaptation of Midsummer Night's Dream.
I feel like.
Oh, your audio keeps cutting out, but I think you said Puck.
Yeah, like a Julie is one.
Oh, she's frozen.
We keep missing your audio.
I know, what's going on? Also, side note, your hair is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you. I don't know why but I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
We have control over it.
Molly, who would you be cast as?
I honestly don't know. I want to be one of the people in the play.
Mm.
One of the villagers doing the...
Yeah, I just don't know which one.
Be the wall.
That's what I was gonna say.
I do a really good wall.
Not just a dog.
I love it. Well, as much as Helena is my favorite character, I actually think I would have a lot more fun playing Hermia. I would love to do her. She's just so vicious.
She's a meaty role.
She really is. I feel like it would just be so fun to be like, I'm not so short that I can't gouge your eyes out. Poor Hermia. Anyway, let's talk about Shakespeare. Well, I don't know what I was going to say. Let me start that again because my words are failing me. Let's talk about Shakespeare. Baby, let's talk about you and me. I guess we could probably talk about sort of Shakespeare in context now. Like, if we wanted to get into some of the more meaty, actual classics analysis-y stuff rather than just laughing about the bits that we loved. Did anyone have a look at like where this play falls in amongst the rest of Shakespeare's plays, or like when it was written?
I did.
Yes.
No, I didn't.
That was a very loaded question, and it was pretty much aimed at Julia.
I did it because I'm trying to read this word like kind of chronologically. But you know, like historically, we don't know exactly when a lot of plays were written. But this is one of the earlier comedies. I know that, and early plays in general.
I do not have any reputable sources that I use to look into this, so I'm just going to preface everything I say with that. But from my understanding, from my understanding, this was written at a similar time to Romeo and Juliet, which is why you can kind of see a lot of similarities in the whole star-crossed lovers and like teen lovers basically trying to rebel against their parents in the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My reference that they were first performed like a year apart, and first published like 3 years apart. Yeah. That sounds right.
The only other thing I know about this play in terms of like when it was written is from the very brief foray that I did into studying Shakespeare when I was studying literature in my undergrad. And literally it was the briefest of times because we spent a week on each Shakespeare play that we studied for this subject. So we got like 4 days of class to talk about a play and then move on to the next one. But A Midsummer Night's Dream was one of them. And the biggest thing that we talked about was essentially that A Midsummer Night's Dream looks really heavily into the public opinion of Queen Elizabeth at the time, because of the fact that she obviously was the Virgin Queen and the queen that refused to marry so that she would, you know, not give up her power. And Shakespeare's portrayal of Titania apparently has a huge influence in like the way that the people were worried about Queen Elizabeth at the time, and the fact that they were worried about what would happen when she died if she didn't marry. And that like idea of her, you know, her being this really amazing public figure, well, not public figure, ruler, literal ruler. She's not a public figure. That's not good enough. But her being this amazing ruler that had brought so much stability to England, and then their fear about what would happen once she was no longer queen because of the fact that she wouldn't marry. So it was like this double-edged sword of her virginity being a good thing and a bad thing at the same time.
That's interesting. I wonder if that is kind of why like the changeling child comes into play, because it's kind of like an heir figure.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. I'm just going to eat some croissant sneakily. on camera.
I remember.
But again, yeah, so that was the one thing that I remember from studying A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I remember like none of the references and nothing else about it, and that was years ago now, so I can't talk much more about it. But it's something that I've always found interesting. It's just like the idea that there's this sneaky little nugget of Elizabethan history in Titania.
Yeah.
I
think, you know.
Pardon?
Go ahead.
Molly, speak.
So that's a super interesting aspect of it.
That's it?
Yeah, when I speak, I wait like 5 seconds. And then it comes in the chat.
Oh, you poor thing. Look, it's a difficult time.
It's the internet. What can you do?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that has a delay too. I don't know what I was going to say about that. I mean, I guess in general it's interesting because Shakespeare doesn't, like his plays don't have a lot of like female leader characters that like survive the play and are like happy being good at the end. Most of his like female leaders are in tragedies, and it's not a good ending. So I'm happy that she can thrive, even though she gets tricked with magic, and I guess Oberon is a child.
Oberon.
At least she's alive. That's better than a lot of them.
That's true. That is true. Oh, Oberon. Another thing I was curious about, or to know, is did anyone look into any of the Greek myths that also featured in this play, or, you know, were literally characters in the play?
No, I didn't, but
Neither did I.
Give ourselves a list of homework.
I meant to and never got around to it all month. But like literally Hippolyta and Theseus, he's the king duke guy, right? I get him confused, but I get him and Thisbe confused because I'm like that. They are a Greek myth that are actually characters in the play. And then obviously Thisbe and Pyramus are also a Greek myth as well, like a well-known myth at the time. And I was like, oh, I should probably look into that and find out like what the actual story is, so that might, you know, help inform my opinion of these characters, but I didn't do it. So good job, me.
Yeah, I feel like I should look into them more. My edition has like every page, the left side is all footnotes. So when there's a reference made, especially with like some mythology, usually like have a note on the side, like, oh, they're talking about, you know, Helena says Daphne chases Apollo, and then the way around, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it'd be interesting to get the full reading, I think.
I'm going to sit here and awkwardly eat a croissant. Feel free to ask some questions to fill the silence.
I love that you're eating a croissant.
I need my breakfast.
Yeah, the other thing I never really thought about with Theseus and Hippolyta is, I didn't think about this until watching the initial theater production. He literally talks like on the very first page about how I just find it.
He wooed her with violence.
Yeah, he's like, I wooed you with my sword, and one time I loved doing injuries. Like he literally like
he
conquered people, and he's like, and then marry me, and we're supposed to be like, oh yay, wedding.
Yeah, I don't know the actual
I
myth.
don't know.
I don't know the actual myth story.
I don't know the favorable opinion from him.
Like I said, yeah, I haven't read the actual myth that's based on, but from my understanding, he straight up kidnapped her. Like, he waged war against her people and won and took her home as his, like, war bounty bride. And then there they are, this, like, happy, I don't know what, like, you know, voice of reason, mature couple in the play that's kind of, like, just getting married, living their life, and deciding the fate of these other lovers. But no. But also yes.
Pauletta, I might be misremembering. Yeah, Amazon?
Yeah. Amazonian queen of some kind.
An Amazonian queen? This guy? That's...
Batting above its average.
I'm looking it up because I'm very curious.
Yeah, I feel real bad that I didn't look anything up.
I'll do it right now. You guys just relax. Oh, well, that's so much better. Not really. Wikipedia, so take with a grain of salt, as in the myth of this, the hero joined Heracles' expedition, blah, blah, blah. Some versions say he abducted Hippolyta. Some say that Heracles did the abducting, but gave her to Theseus as foils. And others say that Hippolyta loved Theseus and betrayed the Amazons, willingly leaving with him. Sounds fake, but okay. So, not very favorable.
So there you go.
Also, wait. When we were talking about favorite quotes, what is her line when they're watching the play and she's like, they play as a child because of a recorder?
Oh, yeah. A sound, but not a good one.
Yeah. That's still so relevant.
Oh, Molly's lost her sound again, I think. Are you back? Are you off? It's hard to say. Anyway. That's all the context-related questions I have anyway. Does anyone have anything else to add or ask? Any thoughts? Does it change your opinion of Thisbe knowing that now? Like, do you think you would have read it differently or read him differently knowing that? Or do you think that's portrayed in the play, just out of interest?
I know, Julia, did you... Titus Andronicus?
I did.
He reminded me of whoever Titus. In Titus Andronicus, because interfering with everyone's... I don't know, he came off as kind of...
I got so few words.
I caught most of that, but I agree, I think. Because it's very, like, old-fashioned, like, honor-based. Yeah.
This might be a good segue to mention that a lot of performances actually have Theseus and Oberon played by the same actor, and also with Hippolyta and Titania. They kind of like have that, I don't want to say same character, but like that sort of multi-facets, I guess, of the same character idea between the lot of them. And I think that that also kind of fits with what little I heard of what your description of the similarity between Theseus and Titus Andronicus is, because like Oberon is also a meddling fuck who's just like...
I especially love the idea of them played by a person I had never seen it. Like the cheaper one. But it just worked so well considering that like in that first scene that we get Oberon and Titania together, they're like, well, aren't you jealous because you were off her? Well, aren't you jealous? You were off him. And it's like literally, you're like the same person right now.
Yeah. Oh, Molly's.
No, Molly.
I'll keep an eye out for her. Right.
Live streaming is rough.
Live streaming is rough. I agree. Look, we do the best that we can. Let's talk about characters, baby.
Yes.
Let's talk about you and me. Anyone have any character-related questions? She back?
I can hear you again.
Hooray!
Yay! I don't know if this is. Go ahead.
You go.
I don't know. I was going to ask, do we have another section of characters? Because maybe my question will be more relevant to a different topic.
I was going to talk about plot and themes and stuff as well. So yeah.
Okay. Mine might be more about plot and themes. Okay.
Is it the one about love?
Yes.
Yeah, that probably is more like theme-based, I'd say. I guess one of the biggest questions that I have relating to characters is like, a lot of people say that like the four main lovers are very interchangeable and that they don't really have a lot of their own characterization, and you know, like the romance could have fallen out any one of a number of different ways without really affecting the way that the play goes. Do you guys agree with that? Do you not? And if not, or if so, justify yourself.
I agreed. Kind of like it would have made a difference. But it was their that like made the difference to me.
Their choices.
Yeah. Like they're been interchanged, but just someone wanted this.
Yeah. I mean the important thing to me about the lovers is that the girls got their way, and that made me really happy. And I don't find them all interchangeable. I think, like Hermia, I don't think weirdly like has much agency as Helena as a character. Like Helena sets herself up to get what she wants. Like I'm going to tell my man, and I'm going to follow him, and I'm going to woo him, and I'm going to be happy. Like I don't know, there's going to be fairies and everything. Whereas Hermia, like she ends up to really cool. I'm not saying she's like a weak character. She ends up for herself in the fourth too. You know, like Alexander, like if we don't like this, we could run away. And she's like, okay, cool, let's do it. And likewise, the guys, I think Demetrius seems a lot more like old-fashioned and more about like playing by the rules and you know, sticking to custom. And Alexander's like, we just gotta live our lives and be happy and do what we want. And then they just kind of end together because it's all contingent with magic. That doesn't mean they're the same character and have the same character trait to me. I don't know.
I find the men more interchangeable than the women after having like read it and like immersed myself into it. Like I agree, Helena and Hermia are very they have very different traits to themselves and very different ways of going about trying to solve their love problems. But I did find that I couldn't have cared less about either Lysander or Demetrius, because it was like either they had two modes. They had full-on in love, you are a goddess divine, I love you so much, or you are foul, get you the fuck away from me, I will beat you into the bushes. And that was about it to me. But
those are my two moods too.
Yeah, I found that at least on a first pass, it was really hard to keep the character straight, because being in love or not, it just was their character.
That's fair.
Yeah, that it did feel like a lot of their identity was based around whether or not they were in love and who they were or were not in love with.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, we could argue that about any character who's like involves like central to love, you know? Like they could be like, oh, Romeo and Juliet don't have any characteristics, it's just like teenagers. Like actually a bunch of characteristics, they just also happen to be like teenagers.
I mean, yes, and this play is about the wild ride of being in love, and so it makes sense that a lot of their characteristics are just honed in on that particular point. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I think that going through it more than once will help to bring up the layers and understand who's who and why.
Yeah. I think that's the other thing that helps too with watching the play or hearing it. It's just like once the actors kind of fill in the emotion with words, I think you get a lot more out of it too.
That's interesting, because I would almost feel the opposite, which is really weird. Because when I watched the play first, all I kind of felt was the comedy. Like I felt like the actors spent a lot more time just, living up the lines to maximum comedic value. And like Helena was just a comedic, like a puppet there for the lols. Whereas it wasn't until I actually got to read the words that I got to see some of that deeper characterization and the thoughts that went through those, through the characters.
This is why we gotta get you the National Theatre production. They killed it. It was so emotional.
Good. Yeah, I get the feeling that this probably happens with quite a few productions of Shakespeare's comedies as well, is there's that pressure to make it comedic that kind of undermines the story in a lot of ways, because they're like, Shakespeare's got to be funny. It's all got to be funny. And then even the emotional lines or the just story-based lines end up having like, slapstick humor in the performance of them that kind of makes you laugh and makes you forget the depth behind the lines.
That's a good point. I guess it depends on who is acting it and the interpretation of the director and everything.
A pause wherein people can speak if they wish.
Yeah, and I would say that I do agree with that too, though. The ones that I have seen in theater, they really do at least here where I live. They've pushed fun.
No. I wanted to hear what Molly had to say.
Sounds very interesting.
I know. Oh, is she back? No, she's not.
Molly's back again.
Oh, she's dead. Molly, please.
I think my internet hates me.
Yeah. We both were. Well, we all were like, oh my gosh, Molly, we want to hear what you have to say, but it just cut out exactly halfway through.
Is it working?
It's working now.
Yes.
God damn it, did we jinx it again? Oh dear. Alright, maybe we should move on to a different question. Any other character related questions that anyone have? No. It would appear that no.
No, we get to talk about the lovers. So I'm happy.
And we'll get to talk about them again, probably. Let's talk about the actual story, I guess. Probably should have talked about this before the characters, but hey, that's fine. We love the characters.
I'm hoping everyone watching Red Wedding knows what we're talking about.
Yes, that's true. I didn't. Oh, give me a sec. What if I do this for now? Look.
Oh. This is new.
Poor Molly. She'll come back. She'll be back. But in the meanwhile, yeah, I guess, yeah. I don't have a lot of like plot related questions because most of it's just kind of understanding the plot and the fact that there are many stories within this story that can be hard to kind of wrap your head around and get woven in the right way. Would you say that there are 3 stories in this play or 4? Because everywhere I look has a different idea.
Yeah, I usually say 3. I go with like the fairies, the lovers, and the players. But I mean, with the fourth myth is
especially into, I guess, like that's more of a thematic sort of idea of it. But yeah, they're basically like there are some arguments that there are 4 stories if you look at it in terms of having a story about love or about like the relationships between the people, where you have oh god, look at me go. Titania and Oberon being one, the 4 lovers being another, Pyramus and Thisbe being one, and then I guess instead of the villagers, that's the villagers version of it, and then you have Hippolyta and Theseus being the 4th major relationship.
Interesting.
Molly is upside down, but that's okay.
As long as she's here.
This live stream is such a hot mess. I am waiting for it.
I'm honestly chaotic energy is what I want for our live stream.
I'm sure he would.
Oh, you're right side up.
We did it. We made it. No, that's good. The adaptations that I've seen have really pushed the funny lines in attempt to, I think, make it much more accessible and understandable to the audience, is what Molly said before. She typed it in the chat.
That makes sense. And honestly, I dare say that's probably more true to how it was like originally performed in Shakespeare's time. Everything was just like, you know, bawdy, har, like, you know, we gotta play this for everyone, and we want the noblemen and the common folk to all see the show and laugh, and then come back and get more money. But I think that like Shakespeare's actual writing does have so much heart in it. And when you read Helena about like how she sat on one cushion selling one sampler as if they were one person. I'm like, oh my god, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I felt the same way with because I watched an adaptation of As You Like It as well this month after having read the play, and was like vastly disappointed when watching it at how many of my favorite lines and like my favorite sentiments were either just like not included or turned into dick jokes, and I was like, this is not what I came here for.
I mean, Shakespeare liked but not everything is a joke. Oh, Molly.
Poor Molly. I love how our chat on this thing, you guys probably can't see it, but it's just like Molly left, Molly joined, Molly left, Molly joined, Molly left.
Very sad.
That's fair. Anyway, it's probably not a lot to say about actual plot or story. I don't know. Does anyone have
anything? Could you guys hear it?
I heard something.
Someone was rubbing their head like crazy.
Oh. Yeah, I heard like a rumbly kind of sound of some kind, but not enough. Probably not as much as you guys have to hear with me being right beside a road. Every time a truck goes past, it's like...
So would now be the appropriate time to ask my question, my love?
Yeah, go for it.
So what do you guys think? You know I'm very opinionated about this, but I'm not offended by it. Would you say that any of the romances in this life are true love? Why or why not? Slash who?
Why or why not? Slash who? Am I allowed to say Helena and Hermia?
Yes, you are.
You know, love in a different sense of the word, but obviously they have a loyalty and a lifelong friendship that, until magic came into play, had survived quite a lot of adversity. You know, like a lot of the, like at the start of the play, obviously we're in a position where Helena loves a guy that's in love with her best friend, and like she's upset about it, but obviously it doesn't ruin their friendship, which I think is pretty true love-ish. And it's not until Oberon comes along with his magic juice that they even have any kind of fight about it. So yeah.
I love that answer.
I'm here for the women love in all of these plays. I spend a lot more time shipping Celia and Rosalind in As You Like It as well. So I see it. Yeah.
What?
Do you have thoughts on the romance?
I like, but I guess you could argue the same. They were super, but then you also wonder if magic could mess. I don't know.
That's fair. I think you were talking about. I caught most of it, not all of it. Was that about Hermia and Lysander?
Yeah, and how.
Okay, yeah.
Was it messed it, but magic could mess it up. I don't know. I don't know what
that's very valid.
Yeah.
I mean, magic did also mess up the literal queen of the fairies, so it's obviously pretty potent magic.
That it is. Here's some interesting things that I can tell you about love in this play.
Yes, please.
Sorry about how long we talked about this. So I don't know if you noticed, because I've done this like 5 or 6 times now. I didn't notice until this time, but anytime the lovers are talking to or about the person that they love, they're always speaking in like rhyming couplets, like literally poetry, which I think is really beautiful. Then they go to like the rude mechanical, and they're just like talking. There's no rhyme scheme. Sometimes they're not even ambiguous. They're just like, hey, what's up? Like it's random. And also, true love, like the actual phrase true love, it's said quite a few times. But neither Judas nor Lysander, for all times they talk about love, their powers, they never say true love. They just say love. I found that very interesting. And when the magic was involved, they were training not really love.
Yeah, that was one thing that I was going to say before, as well as my Helena and Hermia shipping, is that the love that the women have for the men feels a lot more true than the love that the men have for the women.
Mm-hmm. The course, true
and
love,
and that's even aside from the love potioning. Like, obviously the men do get love potioned, which makes their love a little bit less true for a while, but even aside from that, the women just feel so much more true and faithful in their love for each other and for the men that they've decided they want to have than the men do. And it almost feels like the love potioning is just kind of like a symbol of that rather than, you know, like the reason of it, the cause of it.
That's very interesting.
Sips tea.
Food for thought. Welcome back, Molly.
Yeah, welcome back.
Right? This is the last time I've tried. If it doesn't work, I'll just stick in the chat.
Someone was going to say something, so I'm going to be quiet and let them do it.
I was Demetrius gets right. He gets left with his Demetrius's days, right? I'll type it.
I think you're asking it.
That's
well,
fair.
just type it.
I'm so sorry.
Internet hates us.
It's weird that the internet only hates Vanessa's audio, though. Like, she's still moving, and we can see her talking. It's not like the whole thing's cut out. It's just like, nah, no sound.
Yeah, it's literally not.
Waiting with bated breath.
Yeah. Does Demetrius stay under the influence of the love potion through the end? Is her question. And yeah, he does.
Which honestly, I think he deserves.
I mean, it makes for a neat, nicely tied off ending. I'm not sure that he deserves anyone, but maybe I'm just very anti-Demetrius.
Yeah, I just mean to choose love. Like Helena deserves what he wants, even if it's someone who's not even worthy of her.
Okay. I'll take that. She does deserve to be victorious for like once in her life.
That's legitimate.
You have any other nuggets of insight about love and true love to throw our way, Julia?
Hold on, let me go back to my tabs.
Because like, I don't know, all of the other characters are obviously also there in some kind of like form of love, but like none of the rest of them are anything that I am particularly inspired by. Like Theseus and Hippolyta, Oberon and Titania,
I think it's very interesting that like what you said about this and Romeo and Juliet both being written around the same time. Like obviously, the myth of Pyramus is Shakespeare was like, oh, I like that concept of one person thinking the other person's dead and then killing them over it. Oh, and then actually not dead and they're going to kill themselves. The other person kills themselves. Like clearly.
It is a Romeo and Juliet, yeah. Right there in the play. What about some of the other themes? I would suggest talking about dreams versus reality, but I don't know that that's a theme.
Okay. I get it. You can probably. No, that was my one regret. After I finished reading this and like putting all different colored tabs, I was like, why didn't I put a color for dreams and sleeping? They're talking about dreams literally all the time.
They sure do. I was underlining every time I saw the word dream or something relating to dream, because there's a lot of it there.
Yeah. And I think it's very interesting too that the play closes on Puck being like, hey, you didn't like this, this was a dream.
It's a dream, mate.
What a message.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Final epilogue. That's the word. Is it comforting or is it kind of ominous?
I'll type.
You poor thing. I can see you being like, should I try? Nah. It's too hard.
I heard you though. Yeah, I mean Puck is just kind of a shady guy. So even though he's like, give me your hands, we be friends, I'm like, what are you gonna do? Hold me to the ground? I don't trust you.
He does swear on his honesty that it's gonna be okay though. So
Oh yeah, his word means a lot.
I was gonna say, do we trust?
He does say he is an honest Puck. As he is an honest Puck. No. Yeah. He's a good and threatening egg.
Yeah. No, he's a good guy. He's chaotic.
He's very chaotic.
Chaotic neutral, I dare say.
Yeah, that's more like it. He just lives for chaos.
Yeah. Like harmless.
For the most part.
He sets it right in the end.
But I will say, listen to it. Maybe it was the recording I had, but it felt like the ending needed to continue. Didn't feel over.
Interesting.
I was listening to it in the car, and it stopped the sound, and I was like, "You going to continue?"
Yeah. It is weird considering how long the last act is. Like it's a very long scene. Hey, we all got married, and now we're gonna watch this play. Not even. It's like we're gonna get our entertainment, and now we're gonna watch this play. We're gonna get commentary on the play. Now the bears are coming through. It's just like, I get a chance to sleep in bed. I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Odd pacing.
Vanessa says, I think it's ominous because dreams aren't real might be nice, so that we can be like, oh, Lysander never betrayed Hermia, and Titania never fell in love with a donkey, but also aren't dreams speaking some subconscious truth?
Ooh.
Which I think kind of hits right on the point of a lot of the play.
That is. Wow. I'm going through my tab to see other things I did mark up.
While we're still talking about the dreamy reality, sleeping and dreamy thing, I think that this also ties in pretty well with the concept of Midsummer and the Midsummer celebrations that also happen. Because, I mean, the play isn't set in Midsummer, which is weird, and we'll ignore that part. That's just a mystery for another day. But it is set around, obviously, the May Day celebrations. They talk about May Day a few times. And May Day and Midsummer celebrations were both very similar in sort of pagan times or pre-Christianity times, where it was basically just an excuse to be like, all bets are off. We're just going to go into the forest and do whatever the fuck we want and agree that when we come back from the forest, we'll just pretend it never happened, go back to being civilized people. And that's what, I mean, you know, bonfires and sexy times by the fire is like what all of these festivals were all about. And that also is the play. They go into the forest, some fuckery happens. They come back from the forest, everything's all neat and tidy and ready to live there happily ever after.
That's legit. Not neat and tight.
What happens on Midsummer stays on Midsummer.
Molly, did you say what if it's not neat and tidy?
Pardon?
Did you say what happens if it's not neat and tidy?
Yeah, so what is an ending if it's not neat and tidy?
Yeah. That's true. I mean, that's Shakespeare and like, this is coming. No, very work here.
Yeah.
The more weddings, the better as well.
Yeah. I think I haven't read every play. I feel like this has to be the record holder. 3 weddings I've had?
No.
Is there one with more?
As You Like It has 4.
Good for them.
At once, yep. They all get married together.
Quadruple wedding.
It's a big one. Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah, if you liked A Midsummer Night's Dream, I definitely recommend that you have a look at As You Like It. Very similar. Again, with the whole, they just go off into the forest, some gender bent fuckery happens, and everything gets wrapped up nicely. There's a jester for literally no apparent reason. I will never get over the jester.
As You Like It is one of the ones I haven't read yet. But it seems to be like kind of a merging of Midsummer Night's Dream and Twelfth Night, which are two of my favorites. I have high hopes for it.
I haven't read Twelfth Night, but yeah, I can definitely see the similarity to Midsummer Night's Dream. So I think it's like to make a pact. All right,
it's like the same thing. Like girls, guys, this guy.
I think we have a deal then, where I read Twelfth Night and you read As You Like It, and we both be happy.
Yes. Trying to see where chronology wrote As You Like It.
I think it's one of his later ones, although I could be wrong. Maybe it's one.
Oh my god, it's in the middle, but literally, it's right next to 12th Night. It was writing at the same time.
Nice.
So that makes sense. They were published at the same year.
Vanessa did also say that Oberon is an arse and Lysander is probably fickle, so.
I would be curious to see what Lysander is like after the events of the play. Because he seems pretty genuine in the beginning, but you never know.
And we all know that Demetrius is fickle even without love potions, so.
Oh, he's the worst.
That's why it's not true love.
Literally was engaged to Helena before he decided, nah, fuck that. Hermie is the way to go.
The worst.
Actual worst. Any other thematic questions?
Oh, my baby. I just want to talk about true love. I guess it's relevant to bring up jealousy.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Jealousy comes up a lot.
Jealousy does come up a lot. Looking at you, Oberon, again.
Mm-hmm. But also Helena, like her very first scene, she's like, he loves your eyes, and you're this, and you're that. And
true. And then
like
Hermie
that
being like,
impact
how
her
dare you be
friendship.
full.
Go ahead.
I was saying, and then Hermia being like, and now I'm jealous of you because you're tall.
And
And also got the man.
You tall free.
You painted maypole.
And then she fires back with Hobbit.
It's true. And dwarf.
Yeah.
And something made out of grass and acorn. Anyway, jealousy.
I didn't have anything big and deep about jealousy.
Just that it's there.
Just that it's there a lot. And then go ahead.
It's probably interesting to note that different people's jealousies are like there's, how am I trying to say this? Like there's obviously jealousy with a lot of characters in the play have jealousy towards someone or other, but the way that falls out for them is very different in terms of like Oberon is jealous of Titania's pretty boy and he gets the pretty boy and that's his happily ever after. And like then Helena and Hermia being jealous towards each other, and in some ways that doesn't work out for them, and then in other ways it does as well. Like different characters either get the thing that they're jealous about or they don't. And
well, we could say that everyone who's jealous at the beginning of the play ends up with the pretty boy that they wanted at the end of the play.
It's all about pretty boys.
Yep.
That's true. Is that the moral of the story?
Yeah. If you want a pretty boy, it's a pretty boy.
Sounds about right to me.
I think it's a message we can all stand by.
I mean, like you're not.
Any other questions? No, not really. One thing that isn't like necessarily deep or thematic or anything like that I did want to know what other people's thoughts on was like the story is set in and around Athens, but it doesn't feel like it to me. Like how do y'all deal with the fact that like this is supposedly a Greek play but also has baby, there's a baby.
He's like, hello.
Never mind. Play talk is over. Baby talk is on. Oh, you're a cutie.
Speaking of pretty boy.
Love it. Is it really set? Can you really say that it's set in ancient Greece, given the actual atmosphere of the play? Do you think it's important that it remains set in Greece officially? What would it be like if it was just set in and around some random London-y area or something like that?
The way I read it could have been anywhere.
I mean, as far as the forest is concerned, yeah, because it's like the forest is freedom from society. And it's supposed to be not society, so it could be just a wilderness forest, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, it was just very easy to forget where it was placed.
Yeah, other than the fact that they kept like like if they weren't saying it, I wouldn't have thinking about it. And this has always been like kind of an outlier for me too. I mean, I haven't not read every Shakespeare play, but most of his plays, like his historical set in England, most of his plays are set in Italy because apparently that was just like a foreign way to make your like please seem more appealing. was just like something alien, and everyone would be like, oh, that's so exotic. And then he has like a few ancient Roman names, but this is the only one that I know of, and that I read that in Greece, that's just like weird to me. It's so random.
Yeah, like I'm curious what the thought was behind that, or what the choice was behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Was there an importance to it being Greek specifically, aside from the fact that Theseus and Hippolyta are Greek characters?
I guess that could be the reasoning if you specifically wanted to include them.
Which again is an odd choice. Like, why would you want to include them as your pivotal?
It could have literally been anything.
Yeah, and a lot of other potential characters could have not had that sort of troubled background of it being a kidnapped bride.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Contact that most of the other players are not there.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Molly made a really good point before, which I feel dumb for not having really thought of before, is that like as long as it's in a forest, it doesn't matter where the forest is related to, because the whole idea is that you're going to a place where all bets are off. Although the forest was
exactly, like it could have been set in so many.
I think fairies are not something I associate with ancient Greece. If they'd been like nymphs or satyrs or something, it would have been easier. But fairies feel very UK region specific. And the forest also true. There's a lot of cowslips and pansies and hawthorn bushes and cuckoos and very British. Like, yeah, just very British things.
Yeah, I would definitely. Can you let go?
It's odd that you like specifically chose fairies. Because if you wanted to stick with the whole mythology thing, it would have made a lot more sense.
Perhaps. No, I don't know what I was going to say. I thought I had an answer, and then I was like, no, I don't. Good job, me. I wonder if it fits in better with perhaps like the audience's understanding of Midsummer celebrations or something like that.
That's a fair question. I'm researching again.
Oh yeah, I missed the first two chats, but Vanessa did also say she did not get Greek vibes, so much so that she thought it was weird that people had Greek names, which, yeah.
That's fair.
It's true, you could have had like Catherines and Elizabeths and things, and I would not have thought twice about it, like as far as the names and things go.
Mm-hmm.
I was like...
There's a guy outside my house and he's doing weird things to my fence.
What?
What is he doing? There's just a guy. He came like half into our driveway and we have like a brick wall fence between our house and the house next door to us, and he's just kind of like tapping it and like pushing it and things. And I was like, why?
Maybe he's pyramid.
He's looking for his lover. And I was scoffing at him, and he just wanted to see his true love.
But that is really strange.
He's gone now, but it was very odd. We did once have a guy come in because we have, look, I'll see if I can show you. It's probably going to be very bright, but like that's kind of what our house is like. So we have like the driveway, and then in front of the house we just have like giant hedge tree type things instead of like a front fence. And we genuinely had someone like come in and try and like hide behind the bushes to take a piss, who was just like walking past on the road. And then he like turned around and saw all of us, like all three of the people in the house, just staring out at him like, and then he went, and then he left.
Cool.
Final thoughts, final questions.
My final thought is a Midsummer Night's Dream is an amazing play that everyone should read and see.
Preaching to the choir, girl. All of us have read and seen it.
But someone who's watching this might not.
That's true. That's true.
I'm just saying, like in the universe, everyone should read and or see it. That's what I want.
Especially considering that so many other Shakespeares feel very daunting.
It's true. I do wish that ones like this had more adaptations and, you know, media than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
This
and it's like, if you mentioned the team of the through, people would be like, oh, I kind of know what you're talking about.
10 things I hate about you.
A lot fewer people would know a Midsummer Night's Dream. And that's a crime.
Yeah, I feel like we need our teen 90s adaptation of it. Like, we've been robbed.
Oh my god, I'll write that immediately.
Good. Because, like, we have 10 Things I Hate About You. We have She's the Man. Like, we need this one.
We really do need this one. It's so fun.
I do want to know how they try and write in the fairies literally just wanting to kidnap a boy from each other. Like, how do you justify that in like modern high school setting? Who is the child?
I'll find rationale. It won't be like it won't be like a kid. It'll be like they're fighting over a dog or like an ex or something.
Dog works. It'll be like the principal and the school counselor, for sure.
And they've just gotten a divorce, and she's like, I'm keeping the dog, and he's like, but I want the dog.
There we go. We did it.
My bigger goal is the like actual magic. Like I don't know how to rom-com love that.
Just ply them with alcohol.
Yeah. Okay.
Take them to a party. The party is the forest. They get drunk. They accidentally sleep with the wrong person. They get sober. It's all good.
Stressful.
And then Demetrius just remains perpetually drunk for the rest of his life.
And Demetrius is an alcoholic. Cool.
But I do think if you were going to do it, like a high school party would probably be the best setting to try and like recreate that loss of logic.
I'm just like it's messing with my brain.
Yeah, take that as a bonfire, gets drunk, and then have it. But
yeah, to be like a massive homecomings type celebration or something that just keeps going on into the night.
Yeah. But that messes me up. Like, you know, drunk words or sober thoughts or whatever they say. So it's like if Lysander gets drunk and then obsessed with Helena, that does not bode well.
Well, I think that in the play with just magic also doesn't bode well. But yeah, it's a good point. Is like if you replace it with a modern day type thing, which would be just like getting drunk and being like, "Oh shit, Helena." It says a lot about a person.
They wake up in the morning.
And never forget that Puck with his beautiful, non-threatening, just don't worry about it, it was all a dream, makes you feel pretty uneasy. I find it fickle as hell, yo. Both Helena and Hermia deserve better. We need a sequel.
Just centered on them.
Right, well, we've managed to talk for nearly an hour and a half about Shakespeare. I'm very proud of us. I can only imagine this. I've forgotten what I was going to say.
A lot of thoughts for a short little play.
Truly.
That is Shakespeare in a nutshell, I guess. Does manage to cram a lot of thoughts into a little play.
That's why it gets so conflicted.
Oh, I will actually. I don't know how well you guys are going to see this, but I do want to share this beautiful edition that I've been reading, which has the most beautiful illustrations.
Ooh.
Like, they have all these pretty little pictures all the way through it of all the fairies doing their pretty fairy things. And
this is a lovely edition.
It's so pretty. That one's on that side. But yeah, it made reading it really fun. Here's Hippolyta. Whoop, which way do I go? That way. And this way. Everything's reversed.
We'd love to see it.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough of them. I really wanted to try and get all the Shakespeare plays, well, as many as possible in these particular editions. But they obviously didn't publish all of them at the time, and these are like 90s editions or something like that. And I've managed to collect like 6 so far, but then there's a couple that I actually really want to read and that I want in these editions that it just looks like were never published like this. And yeah, pretty sad.
Really disappointing.
Yeah, and some of them were like major ones, like Macbeth and Hamlet and things. I'm just like, guys, can we have Macbeth in this form, please? I would have thought that was a major enough play to get published if you were doing
interesting publishing choices.
Yeah. Anyway,
are they all comedies?
No, I think Hamlet is one that was published like this, but Macbeth wasn't. And Romeo and Juliet also was published like this. So yeah, it's just an odd mix. But that's okay. I'll take what I can get. I'll find as many as I can. The only downside is that it doesn't have a translation. It's literally just the play. And I'm pretty sure it's as close to the original script as possible from what I read in the preface. So I had to have this and then also my laptop open with just translations galore.
Yeah, I got the only one they had at the bookstore. And yeah, this was all the one that didn't have translation.
There's bits that you get used to, but yeah, there's still a lot that there's just too many. There's a lot of words that just don't exist anymore, and you get used to the forsooths and the forsworns, and you sort of get into a rhythm of just reading them the way they should be. But the rest of it, yeah, still hard. Anyway, if no one has any further thoughts or anything, we should probably wrap up because I know it's getting late for you guys, and it's nearly lunchtime here for me by now.
Yeah, I got
one of my favorites setting off fireworks. Weirdo.
Final thoughts? Oh, we probably should have at the start of this announced the book for the next month or something in case people were watching and tuned out between then and now, but that's all right. The book that won was The Princess Bride, so welcome to Pirate Month. We should plan a watch along
Yeah,
for
I'm
the
so
Princess
excited.
Bride at some point, if possible.
100% yes.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, yeah, so everyone start reading The Princess Bride. That's probably about it for this, I think. No final thoughts?
Good job.
Yeah, it was a good play. It was a good read. So
Yeah, it was very good.